Well, folks, I think I'm on now. Having a little bit of trouble with the hotel Wi-Fi, but hope that you're on. A tough game to watch. We're going to talk a bunch about it, and I will just kind of go through my thoughts. The on my phone, that's what I'm using right here. So uh, don't start asking questions yet because I can't keep up with this tiny screen. So just hold all your questions until I'm ready, if you would, so we can make sure that we talk about what you guys want to hear about. So here's the gist. Came down to an execution game. I thought the defense started out all right. I thought they had good plays at times. I thought they did good things at times. But in the end, it got wore down. You saw what happened in that overtime, and that specifically was a total cost of the plays that they had to make all game long. So we'll talk about that some. I think what you're going to find is that there are just a number of things that have to be fixed still. We're going to talk about the offense as well as everything that went well for this team, and I think there was quite a bit that did go well. So we're going to focus on that. I want to start out first by saying that our sponsor, Insurance Incorporated, and Sean out there, and Shawnee does a great job. Check them out. It'll be in the show notes eventually, not tonight because I'm doing this live and remote and I'm out of town and the whole 9 yards. So that's just something that it's going to take a little bit of time. But also, Insurance Owners Inc. is another one. I'm sorry, Auto Owners Insurance. They work together. They sponsor the show. They've helped me out, and I hope that you will support them the way that they've supported me. I'm down in New Orleans for a family thing. So that's why. And just kind of hanging here, doing the thing here. Had to watch the game on television, so there's a lot of limitations in terms of what I was able to see. Couldn't back it up or anything like that. We'll go through the questions when I get through there. Let's start on the offense. What happened is what we worried about happening. Pat Mahomes started out slow, misfired on a few things. They just weren't really working together. That's really what I thought got off to the bad start, the slow starts, which put them in a hole a little bit. Clearly, when you allow 14 points at half and you come out right away, and you had opportunities in the first half to erase that lead, but you come out right away in the second half, you feel good, as they should have. And they got off to a decent start. Sorry about the noise down here in the streets below. There are things going on you never quite know. And so it gave you an opportunity to do some things that they were able to take advantage of. They got on pace in the second half, and I thought the offense started to click. Damian Williams, I thought, played well. I didn't think they used him enough. And I think what this game comes down to is they didn't use the run game enough. I know you guys are tired of hearing me say it, but it's true. They lost this game for two reasons. They didn't run the ball enough when they had the lead there to close out the game. They didn't eat enough time off of the clock, and they couldn't stop the run. They stopped it okay during the game, an improvement. I thought Reggie Ragland played a good game. Later in the game, they couldn't stop it even out of the 11 personnel when they saw it. So it's still a problem. And for those that say that the run game doesn't matter, well, this proves to get to a Super Bowl, this team used the run game to do it on both sides of the ball. The Chiefs have some changes to make. There's going to be a ton of changes coming for this defense. And we'll start at the top, maybe, and we'll go from there. But we're going to talk about it all offseason. I will be here for you all offseason. I do all the advanced metrics, all of my grades for the athleticism metrics, for all of the draft data, all the combine data, all of the pro day data. I will have rankings for you the whole 9 yards. If you've never seen my draft guide, I'll give you guys links to that too. It'll be available. So we'll get to all that in the next couple of weeks. We'll start in on that with position reviews and the whole 9 yards. But tonight, I thought when they had to go to the base defense, the bigger guys, I think Romo was talking about bringing 5 big guys up back on the field, right? And he's absolutely right. That getting into the base defense, into the run sets, when they had to do that, you had some performance that came with it. And I thought they did a good job. I thought the defensive line played pretty well. The linebackers had a couple of holes. I thought, again, Ragland played all right. I thought Hitchens played decent against the run at times as well. But it just wasn't enough, and it wasn't consistent enough. So that's what they have to upgrade. I expect them to look at linebackers in the draft, and like I said, we'll talk about all that. And I know a lot of you are talking about Bob Sutton tonight, and I told you a couple of weeks ago when everybody was starting to feel like after the Raiders game, after the last playoff game, that the defense played well, and a lot of folks are starting to feel like he was going to get a reprise. Bob's still not performing well, so they can't really go with it. He's got to be replaced, and I just don't know if it's going to be a retirement, if it's going to be parting of ways, however nicely that they want to put it, and I'm sure Andy Reid is going to want to put it there. But even though with a slow start for the offense tonight, it's the defense that cost them. And you know me, I'm a defensive kind of guy. I want to be able to say that this is a decent defense. It just isn't at this point. It's got a lot of nice pieces, but it's not playing as a whole, and it's not playing the way it has to play when it really counts. And those playoff games, and the run game in particular, are when it counts. So we will have to come back to it, and I hope that it's going to be a kind of a non-event when it happens. I don't think it's going to be a big hubbub. I think there is going to be a change at the top of the defense, and I'll be interested to see who it is. We'll talk about who it is in the coming weeks. And as the video schedule changes, I'll do a film room on this like I always do. It's going to take a few extra days. I'm down in New Orleans for another couple of days still, so I won't be home and be able to cut that kind of stuff up and actually see it on a good screen and everything else. So, it's one of those things. I thought specifically player-wise in the secondary, I thought you saw some good things from Ward. You saw a lot of tight defense coverage from him. Nelson got taken advantage of a couple times early, but they clearly went off after him in the fourth quarter, and I thought he came up well. I do believe he's going to get a contract from somebody else, so I don't expect him to be in Kansas City. Excuse me. I feel like Eric Berry was not 100%. Played for the emotional part, but when they flexed him out, I even said to my wife at the time, I'll take this matchup one-on-one against Gronk every time. And it didn't work out. And they came out, the news started floating around earlier that he's going to need surgery after the season to correct that Achilles, and I completely blame that. Here's the big thing is, and I see a lot of you guys commenting about Ford, and you're absolutely right. It's the 18th game of your season. Excuse me. Lining up offsides is not something you can do 18 games in. This is not, you're not a rookie. This isn't a new thing. The rules are the same every week. And that did cost them. I thought Ward made a nice play on that tip. I thought Ward showed more of his potential, and that was important. And it's going to be important going forward. Just those little flashes make you think, okay, that they're going to have him for a while. They're going to have to bolster that cornerback group, that's for sure. But I feel like they can. So, this is something that is going to get fixed overnight, but I think it is going to get fixed. I do feel like it's going to get fixed. I know they have to re-sign Tyreek probably first before he gets any more expensive than he's already going to be. I think he may end up the highest paid receiver in the game. We'll see. So then it has to be Chris Jones, I think. So I'm not sure if there's going to be room. I'll have to crunch the numbers here in the next couple of weeks about exactly what the numbers are going to be in terms of free agency. They might be able to go out and get a free agent corner. I got to take a look at the numbers, though. I'm sure Seth and I will argue about that for a while, as we will everything run game, because I'm sure he's going to turn this into it wasn't that important, Ryan. It's going to be a lot of great discussion this offseason on Locked On Chiefs. We have some great plans. Chris, Seth, and I, we're going to have a lot of guests, and we're going to have a back and forth. It's going to be really two ways to build a franchise, because there are definitely some things that need to be changed. So, that said, I can't lay it all on D Ford's feet. Yes, that was one play. Yes, that changed the game, but there were another number of games or plays that changed that game. And I have to say, after all my criticism of Dan Sorensen this year, last year, probably again next year, he came up big and made some nice plays. So, it's just the way it bounces. Couldn't stop it in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is a case to be made about why overtime needs to be everybody gets one possession. There are some arguments to be made there. Excuse me. I guess I should drink a beer maybe. Tonight, given where I am, tonight's beer is Nola's Three Muses, a Belgian pale ale. So, what we're going to find, as I look at the film, I'm sure there were other lapses, but there are some things there. You know, I said going into the game that Edelman's going to hurt you. In the fourth quarter, he did. In overtime, he did. He's a guy that's just crafty and is able to get away from. So, you know, he's just got an advantage. He runs great routes. He gets loose. I thought the coverage from Fuller and Ward there in the fourth quarter and overtime was solid. You know, I mean, not a step behind, not off, just good ball placement and good catches. It's difficult to defend him, that's for sure. I guess I should actually have a sip instead of just holding it. So I think you're going to see change there as well, but it's not going to be the end of it. The real question mark is going to be what you do at linebacker. I think they have to get better there as well. It's going to have to change. On the offensive side, really disappointed in how little they ran the ball, both in the first half, to try to take some of that physicality out. If you have a team coming at you that's going to run cover zero and get in gaps and try to pressure you, run at them. Run right at them. It takes away their will. It beats them up. It makes them pay a price for trying to pressure you like that. And that's what I felt Andy Reid missed an opportunity there. I thought the clock management down the line was a little too much aggression. I felt going into that last drive the Chiefs had in regulation, they were going to be able to score. What's up, Big Sean? I see you. Mike Mitchell, Kenny, man, you guys are flying by. Appreciate all the comments. I'll get to them, I promise. I felt in regulation they should have run the ball more. I think if you had taken more time off the clock, just don't give Tom Brady 2 full minutes with the ball. And then, I mean, and that final drive, that's incredible. I think what you saw, and I commented this to the wife, and she agreed, very much so, the calm demeanor that Patrick Mahomes had on the sideline. Knowing that he was going to get another shot, knowing that he was going to have to take advantage of it, I thought that was a really, really good sign. This is a positive aspect for going forward into next season. Andy's play call, again, if he had eaten some of that up, I think that wouldn't have been necessary. I think they could have controlled the ball. You take it like you saw the Patriots do, run the ball down inside of a minute and get it gone, and you're home free. So it's one of those deals. I think Andy's got tendencies that he's not going to break. So in terms of options, I see a lot of you guys talking about Bob Sutton and replacements. Todd Bowles has a job. Steve Wilkes has a job. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on because there's not a whole lot out there right this second. I think there's going to be Larry Heimer, thank you. Dang, I didn't get to read it all, but I saw it go by. Thank you, Larry. I think there's going to be an option or two. I think you might have to look at trying to steal away somebody at this point if there isn't, a big-time guy that you want. And, all kidding aside, Rex is on the edge. He's been out of the game a little bit now. If he did want to coach a defense again, I think he's still capable.